Hi, educators. I hope you all are doing well. It's so nice to have you all back yet with yet another amazing session. Hi from Oman, from India, Nigeria, from US. Hi, everybody. So we will be starting our session in another 2 minutes. Let everybody join in and till the time, let's start interacting, shall we? So kindly do drop your name and your country name where you are joining us from. So myself, Vivek, and I'm joining you all from India. We have people joining us from Nepal, Indonesia, UAE, Egypt, Sudan. It's so nice to have you all. We are just going to wait for 1 more minute and then we will be starting our session. Hi, Leo. Good evening. I think we are good to go. Let me just quickly share my screen. So once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. I hope you all are doing well. This is the second session of the International Teacher Training Program on Python with PictoBlox. And I have to say, you guys have set the stage on fire. Yesterday, we have received so much love. I was overwhelmed with the innovations, with the project, with the videos that you were creating and sharing in the group, as well as I loved the way everybody was helping each other. So I have to say, let's keep up the momentum, let's keep up the hype and maintain this standard throughout these training sessions. So if you haven't, make sure to please fill the pre-survey form because it's one of the prerequisites to get the participation certificate as well as to be a part of the top performers race. Without further ado, let's quickly dive in today's session and let us see what is up. So for this session, we are going to focus on loops, lists, tuples, and making real-world applications or program based on that. So that is what we are going to focus on this particular session. Starting off, the topics that we are going to cover is we will be talking about loops. In the last previous session, I really did talk about what exactly loops are, and we also worked on while loop. But in this one, we are going to take a look at the different types of loop, what are the major differences in between them, and how to incorporate such loops in applications that we are going to create. Then how to automate a repetitive loop, or let's say a loop which has entry as well like exit control loop. That is what we are going to do. We are going to work with list, how to create list, how to add into list, how to slice from a list. Then we're going to take a look at tuples and what's the difference between them. And of course, interactive programs using the same. So that is the agenda for today's session, and I hope you all are ready for the same. Cool. All right, let's begin. Let's take a look at what exactly loops are. So I want you all to tell me what loops are in your own words, maybe in like one or two words, or maybe a quick phrase. So you have to mention what exactly loop is in your own words, right in the chat box. By the time I'm putting the pre-survey form link in the chat box, so if you haven't, make sure you fill it up right now. The pre-survey form link is there in the chat box and I'm pinning it. Loops are repetitive statements. Okay. Repeating a task, that's good. Loop is repetition, that's nice. Good one. Repeating a certain statement again and again till it is true. Indeed, that's right. Repetition of some coding lines. Right. So what exactly loops are? Loops are basically something that helps us to make our code more efficient. Let's say if I want to display multiplication table of 5, or I want to display multiplication table of 15, or any other larger number. I don't want to do that. If I, let's say if I'm going to do that with the help of a code, I don't want to write 5 multiplied by 5 is equals to 25. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to write each line by line or word by word or number by number and then display it on the print or the terminal or make the Toby say it. I'm not going to do that. Instead of making my task more lengthy, let's make it efficient with loops. So that is where loops come in, where you want to do something or to repeat a number of, or let's say, repeat a number of tasks or repeat a number of statements n number of times. The n has to be defined, whether it be 3 times, whether it be 4 times, or whether it be 10 times. So that n has to be defined. So same way, loops work around. They are efficient to use. They help us to maintain the, I would say, the fluency of the code, making it less lengthy, making it less debugging proof. So like error proof, basically, if I say so. So that is what loops come in. They are handy because they help us around to automate tasks or to make sure that our code is executing and we don't need to intervene in the same. Right. So that is where loops come in very handy. And there are three major types of loops. One is for loop, which is a very basic one. Then there is while and do while loop. So there are three loops here in front of your screen, and you have to tell me which one you think is entry control loop and which one you think is exit control loop right now in the chat box. I'm looking for your answers. All of you are correct. While and for are entry control. Okay. We don't use do while in Python. It's up to you. What I will be doing today, I will be using while and I will be making a infinite loop, or let's say exit and entry control loop using while loop. While entry, do while exit. do while entry. Okay. For and while is entry and do while is exit. Exactly. So for loop and while loop are entry control loop. Why they are called entry control loop? Let me give you a good example of the same. Let's say when you're going to give a vote, in like I don't know what other countries the age limit is, but here in India, the age limit to give vote is above 18. So any candidate who wants to vote for a particular party, that particular candidate has to be above 18 years old. So it's basically on the entry, on the arrival of a candidate is asked, are you 18 years, more than 18 years old? If the candidate says yes, he's allowed in. If the candidate says no, he or she is not allowed in. So these are good prime examples of entry control loop, where you are asked to meet a particular set of condition at the arrival or at the entry of that loop. So if that condition is not met, then you are not going to be a part of that loop. You will be thrown out. You won't be getting a chance to be in that. So that is entry control loop. And there are two entry control loops. One is for loop and one is do while loop. Because both of these loops check for a specific condition upon the entry or arrival of some data, whether that data is coming from list, whether that data is coming from a tuple, or whether that data is coming from a variable. So that is what entry control loops work like or look like. Then we have do while. Do while is basically exit control loop. You control the condition, but that condition is at the exit. So let's say if I am eating bananas, and let's say if I am eating bananas and my mother comes and says, you can't have banana, but I already had one. So what will happen? She created a statement or a condition after I ate a banana, but I already ate one. So same way do while loops work. You have to, let's say if you have a specific condition that you are not allowed to eat apples, or you have peanut butter allergy. So you can't have peanut butter, but you already had some in your chocolates. So in that case, what will happen? The condition, if it is true or not true, you already did that particular task once. And then next time when you are exiting the loop and you want to enter the loop again, you won't be allowed in. So that is do while loop, where the condition is checked upon the exit. That is why even if it's true or not true, it will run at least once. At least once. Whereas for loop and while loop will not run at least even once, even when the condition is basically not true. So that is the difference between entry control loop and exit control loop. All right. I think you already got that. So we will again take a look at these in the coding application, which is PictoBlox. So let's quickly open PictoBlox. Here it is. All right. So now what do I want to do? I want to quickly understand what's the difference between three of them with the help of good prime examples. Okay. So I'm going to just quickly add some examples in front of you and show you the difference between the three of them. So this is your PictoBlox Python editor, and here in front of you is our for loop. So over here, what I'm doing, I'm typing the for, which is the keyword, to make sure that the computer knows that we are starting a for loop from this type. After this, I'm passing on a variable. That variable I have named it as I. So for I in range, that means I has to be in range of, I have to define that range in brackets, from 1 to 6. So what I'm doing, it's a counter variable. If you remember, some of you talked about and mentioned counter variable. Same way, I over here works as a counter variable? Yes or no? I want answers again in the chat box. Waiting for your answers. Yes. Right, Miss Ruchi and Miss Nikita. Indeed. So this is basically your counter variable. It's going to help you to count and go through from 1 to 6. And then underneath it, we are printing the number, and then we are printing I. So that is what we are doing. All right. Now you have to make sure of one particular thing, that is the syntax. You can't change the syntax and the space. Now, one more question for you all. The space over here is the indentation. If I change the space, if I remove the space, will my code work? Let's say if I remove the space out, will the code work over here? I'm waiting in for your answers. No, exactly. The code will not work. The reason, Python needs indentation. Computer needs to understand which particular line of code is coming in which particular block of code. This is my block of code for forever loop. And forever loop starts from line number 1. And line number 2, which is the print statement, is a part of my for loop block of code. So that is why indentation plays a very important role. All right, let's quickly run it and let's see what will be the output of the same. The output will be there in the terminal itself. The value will not be printed and it will pass on error. Exactly. So there you go. It's printing numbers 1 to 5. Now, one more quick question to you all, because I see maybe some of you are still haven't woke up yet. So I'm going to ask just a few more questions. My question is, my loop says in range of 1 to 6, but here in the terminal it is printing till 5. Now, what's the reason behind that? What's the reason why it's just printing till 5? Why it's not printing till 6? No. Asad Khan says, no, I'm not sleepy. Okay. 6 not included, higher range not included. Okay. Index is 0 to 5. True. It takes stop -1. That is also true. We start counting from 0. Right. So basically, what happens in the coding world or in the programming world, when I say let's count from let's I want the computer to count from 1 to 6. So it's going to start from 0, or it's going to, like, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the counting, but the index number will look like 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is why over here I mentioned that it has to print in range of 1 to 6. So that is the reason it is just printing till 5, because it takes either -1 or it takes, let's say, one index. So 1 is basically the index and it goes till that particular point, which is 5, where the index will be something else. So that is why, as you can see, it's just printing till number 5. All of you are correct in the chat box. Amazing. For the 6 to be included, you need to have equals to or more than equals to. True. Then why 0 is not printed? Because we are not starting it from 0. Index is 0. The counting for the computer is starting from 0, but the counting for us is starting from 1 over here, as you can see. I've mentioned 1. Let's say if I mention 0. Let's see what will the difference be. I'll just quickly erase this and let's print it again. There you go. Starting from 0 and going till 5. It always, all of you are correct. It always prints -1 from the value which is mentioned over here, or -1 or index values over here. So all of you are correct. I hope Ushma Zahir got the answer. 0 added, 0 to 5 will be printed. Indeed. Initial value, not 0. Exactly. Because 0 is the counter, not value. 0 is basically counter, I would say, a part of the counting index. Not counter, but it's a part of the counting index. So that's the difference. You need to understand that whenever you want to pass on values, it's going to print it -1 or index values. It's going to print it till that particular index value. So I hope you got that. Perfect. All right. Let's move to the next one then, shall we? We already knew we all got about the for loop. Let's take a look at our while loop. So while loop is basically when you want to do something, or when you want to pass on a set of statements whenever the condition is true. So while a specific condition is true, then a set of statements or a set of code will be executed. So over here, what I have done is I have made a variable and named it count, and I have initialized it with value 1. And what I have said is while count is less than equals to 5, I want to print the counting, and then I also want to increase the count by 1 every time the loop is executed. Now I want you to tell me what will be the answer. Let's see. While is entry control loop. Exactly, Avatar. Do while is exit, right? Range, start, and stop. This form generates a sequence of numbers starting from the start value, incrementing by 1 default, and stopping before the specified stop value. Exactly. Something which I explained in a little more layman's language. You have put it up in a very professional way. Thank you. While you talk, my PictoBlox can't open and it's stuck on loading. Kindly restart the PictoBlox application and make sure that you have downloaded the correct version and the correct bit. So some of you downloaded 64-bit, but your laptop or your PC was 32-bit. So kindly make sure you're downloading the correct one. A lot of you are saying it's going to print 1 to 5. It's going to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's take a look. So it's going to print. Okay, some of you are saying 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. It's going to print till 5. Now, can anybody tell me what's the reason behind it? Why is it not printing till 4? Because just one of you mentioned that it's going to print till 4. 2 to 6. Miss Ginny, no, it's not going to print 2 to 6. Most of you are right. That's going to print till 1 to 5, but I want the reason as well. I want you to give me the reason why it's printing 1 to 5. I'm looking out in the chat box because it's entry control. Okay, maybe one of the reason. Because if it's equal to, because it's a condition, it's less than equal to, right? Count starts from 1, true. So these are the reasons. That's it. See, you already got it. So there are multiple reasons. Number one is the count starts from number 1. Second, we have set a condition at which we have stated that the count has to, or the condition has to be, the loop has to execute until this condition is not true. That means until count is not more than equals to 5, we want to print it up. And then after printing once, we are increasing the count value. So let's say how it is going to happen. It's going to print 1, and then the count value will change to 2. then it's going to print 2. It checked, is 2 less than equal to 5? Yes, it is. Then it printed 2. Then again, plus 1, that means count is 3. Then it will check for 3. Is 3 less than equals to 5? Yes, it is. Then print that number, 3. Then it's going to add one more. So 3 plus 1, 4. Is 4 more than equal to 5? Indeed it is. Then it's going to print 4. Then it's going to add 1 into 4. It will turn into 5. Is 5 equals to 5? Indeed it is. Then it's going to print 5. And after that, it will stop. Because 6 is not less than equal to 5. So that is why it is printing 1 to 5. And this is again an entry control loop. All right. I hope you got that. Perfect. Let's quickly take a look at the last one, which is the do while loop. Now, it is something that I will be explaining you. I won't be explaining, but you will be explaining me. That is what I meant. I'm sorry. Now, you have to tell me. So, okay, this is not a stimulated one. Yeah, okay. All right. So right over here is our do while. So some of you in the starting of the training or the session mentioned that Python doesn't have do while loop. It is true, Python doesn't have do while loop, but we can create our own. And this is how we have created our own do while loop. While the condition is true, I want to first take a user input of a positive number. And if that positive number is less than, or I'm sorry, more than 0, then I want to print the valid input and break. And if it is not, then I want to print try again with a positive number. So let me quickly run it. Let me show you with an example. And in the layman's language, again, enter a positive number. Let's say if I enter -2. Try again. Enter a positive number, 2. Valid input, 2. So can you see? Until the condition was met, the first one which I entered was not true, but it still asked me try again. Then I entered number 2, which is positive. The condition was met, and then I was thrown out of the loop. That means I was exited out from the loop. So this is how you basically create a do while loop. You have to tweak the code. You have to tweak and play around with the existing loops and keywords to make yourself a do while loop. And that is something that we are going to do in today's session as well. So I hope you got it. If not, don't worry. We will be coming to a few more examples in the programs that we are going to create today. All right, let me quickly run back because we need to understand something more before we move ahead with our programs. And that is lists. Now, lists are data types. List is a type of data type which is going to store values in it. Lists are basically that helps you to store multiple values. Let's say if I want to store a value of everybody, or let's say if I want to store name of everybody who's present here, I can do that with help of list. I can store everybody's name, that Miss Ginny is here, Miss Nikita is here, or Mr. Bhupendra is here, Mr. Dave is here. So I'm storing down names from the chat box in the list. Now, there are a few things that you need to understand. Lists are mutable. That means they can be changed, they can be accessed, they can be edited after creating it as well. So keep this point in mind because I will be asking a question, a tricky one after on. So lists are mutable. That means they can be edited even after creating it. So let's quickly, I'll show you one of a really quick prime example of the same, how list looks like. And then we'll move to our next part. So we break condition with the indentation and loops with keyword break. Exactly. Yes, we will use break if we want to step out of that do while loop if it is not true. Mutable data types in Python. Exactly, it is one of the mutable data types in Python. Okay, so I'll quickly show you one of the prime examples. And there you go. So right over here, what I've done is I've created a list and I've named that list as fruits. And I've created one more list and I've named that list as numbers. Then I've created one more list to show you that a list can have different types of data. So either list can have all like character or words as a data. Either list can have all numbers, or it can mix together and have all the values, whether it be float, whether it be true or false, that means Boolean values, whether it be numerical values or character values. So all the values can be, or type of values or all type of data can be stored in list. So keep on noting these points. So let's print. I'm just printing fruits, and let's see how that printing on the terminal will look like. Now, there's one more point that you need to know. When you're creating lists are always starting with your square brackets. So a lot of kids, even when I was young, when I was in school, I also used to get confused between list and tuples. I used to think like list will start with curly brackets and tuples will start with your square brackets. Then I figured out a very good way to remember which type of data starts with which type of brackets. Now, if you see capital L looks like this, right? It denotes square bracket, which is this. So L denotes square bracket, right? And your T looks like this, your small t. So small t with a curve denotes round bracket. And that is when I understood list are square brackets, tuples with the curve t is round brackets. And then my confusion was cleared. Okay, so this is how list looks like. Again, lists are mutable. They can be edited. They can be sliced through. That means I can pick out random data that is there in my list and I can throw it out. Or I can add random data in between my lists. So yeah, that is list. Okay, let's move on to tuples. Now, I have one question from you. Is tuple mutable or immutable? Brilliant trick. Thank you so much, Miss Nikita. It really did help me a lot because I used to struggle with the list and tuples because you need to create programs. You need to write down these programs when you're giving your exam. It really did help me a lot. Miss Ruchi says immutable. Okay. What about others? Joshua says mutable. No. Right. It is immutable. Immutable means neither I can edit it, slice it, or add any items after I'm done creating it. So that means once my tuple is created, once I have stored the value, I cannot mutate it. I cannot edit it. I cannot perform any functions on it. So that is why it comes in the category of immutable. Okay, so I will quickly show you one good example of lists, sorry, of tuples and show you what's the difference between the same. Sorry, not this one. This over here is a tuple. So let's say if I want to print on over here, I will print the values of mixed tuple. And let's do something. Let's make it T fruits and T numbers. Okay. Now these are your list and this over here is your tuple. Let's quickly print it up. I'll just clear it and then print it again. All right. By the time it's printing, I hope you noticed the sudden change. My data that was in the list was surrounded with square brackets and the data that I have stored in tuples is surrounded with round brackets, where tuple will be used. So let's say if you want to create any program where you want to store a data, but you don't want to edit that data anyhow, that is where you will be using tuples. And where the list is going to be used, I'll show you with one of the activity that we are doing. All right. So as you can see, it's printing both of the tuple as well as the list. So that's the difference between tuple and list. Lists are mutable and tuples are immutable. That means they can't be edited nor sliced, or you can't even add any items once they are created. All right. So that is what tuples and lists look like. Shall we move next? I think we are good to go. Let's start with our first activity of the session, which is drawing shapes. Now, this is one of my favorite activities because I feel like this is something which excites me as well as the kids the most. As I mentioned, in these training sessions, I'm not just going to talk about activities. I'm not just going to teach you, but I'm also going to show you which type of activities you can use to teach these concepts that you're learning throughout these sessions in your classroom. And I have to say, you have done wonders. The videos that you have shared is amazing. Ms. Ruchi says tuple is faster compared to list as it has less functions. So when we want to access data, better use tuple. Indeed. Um, that's the case when you have a very large number of data. So let's say if I have a data which contains a lot of values, then it will be better if I use tuples. Only when I want to pass from that data, only when I want to read or write that data, then I think tuples will be in handy. But let's say if I want to edit a data which is larger in number, then list will come and help you out. So yeah, let's start off with the activity of drawing shapes. In this one, I'm just going to show you how to draw star. And by the time you are also doing it, I want you all to draw different shapes and share it in the WhatsApp or Telegram groups, because I really do want to see where your creativity exceeds. Right. So let's quickly start up. I'll again go back to the PictoBlox application, and this time open a new PictoBlox Python editor file. So if you want to check out the functions of how you have to create tuples, if you want to check out the things that I have talked about, loops, list, tuples in detail, again, you have to go back to your LMS course. You will be able to do that with good examples though. Right. Let me quickly go to the activity. And first of all, as I always say, whenever you are planning to do any sort of activity, you have to prepare the kids. You have to ask them, hey, let's sit down and let's do a dry run of what exactly we want to do. Right. So my dry run will be verbally. I can also draw it on the PictoBlox itself. Now, number one, what do I want to do? I do not want a Toby sprite. I want a pencil sprite. So I want a pencil sprite that's going to help me out to draw. Will make my program more interactive, right? Then what do I want to do? I want first thing, I want to clear everything that is already there on the stage. So let's say if somebody reruns my code and there is a shape which is already drawn, let's say a triangle. I don't want to draw on top of triangle shape. I want to clear my stage and then start refresh or start with a new canvas. That is why over here, we want to first clear. Then one major point is pen down. So over here, we have a pen extension. That is what we are going to use. So in pen extension, there are a number of functions that you can use. That for one of the function is pen down, which means you have to pull your pen down and then it will start drawing. So right over here, I have a very beautiful Codeva pen, as you can see it in my hands. It's a tic-tac pen. Opened and closed. Same way, pen works in the PictoBlox pen extension. You have to put it down or force it down, then it will be up to go, or when it will be drawing for you. So same way, it's going to work over here, and same way your actual pens work. Then what do I want to do? I want to keep rotating it. That means I want to keep rotating it so that it draws the shape that I want, which is a star. I know, please don't go on my drawings. I'm not a good artist, but yeah. So that is what I want to do. Keep on rotating, keep on setting up angles, and then drawing a star. But if I say so, let me ask you, let me put up one question to you all. If I am moving the pen which is going to be here, I'm setting the pen's rotation to different angles to draw my star shape. Shall I do it one by one, or can I use a loop? Just say yes or no. Can I use a loop or no? I'm looking in the chat box for your answers. Mr. Miller says yes. Okay. For loop. Amazing. Indeed. So we have to use a loop to create that sense of, uh, making our task more efficient and automating it rather than making a very lengthy program and going through one by one, checking for each angle, each rotation, and then drawing again. It's going to be lengthy. So we are going to use loop. And yes, indeed, we are going to use the forever loop. So let's delete the Toby sprite. I'll quickly click on this icon and choose a sprite. The sprite which I'm going to work around today will be pen or pencil. So as you can see, it's right over here. If you want to decrease the size, you can do that as well. I'm going to make it 70. Yeah, 70 works around. So I'm going to make it 70. After that, now let's quickly initialize the pen or call the pen extension. So what you're going to do is we're going to write pen equals to your pen extension. There you go. So what is happening? The pen class or the pen extension, all the functions of that is stored in this pen variable. If you do not want to name it pen, you can name it p. So it's up to you again. But for generic and for your understanding, I'm naming it pen over here. Then what do I want to do? Whenever you're drawing something, you wait for some time. You wait for maybe few seconds or few minutes while you're drawing. But here, computer needs just few seconds to be perfect, right? So therefore, what we are going to do, we are going to add waiting time. So when you're using block-based coding, the waiting time is basically adding a wait block. But here you have to import time class and then use that time class function, which is your sleep function, which will help you to wait while you're drawing. So I will do import time. Simple. Now, again, what I want to do is whenever I'm restarting this or whenever I'm starting this program, I want this pencil sprite to go on a specific position and start from there. So let's say this is a specific position that I wanted to go x0, y25. Yeah. So what I will do, I'll just use sprite dot go to xy function and I will mention this xy direction or xy values. X is 0 and y is 25. Simple. So whenever I'm restarting my program, I want it to again start from these two values. That is why I'm putting it over here. Then I want to, okay, hear me out. When I will be setting or rotating it up, the rotation, I don't know which rotation angle my pencil will stop and start again. So to make sure it's stopping and starting again at a right position, what I will do right now, the direction of the pencil is 90 degrees. So I will note that for the beginning as well. So sprite dot set direction is the function to set the direction and keep it 90. So these two are used to reset the stage or bring in a new canvas, right? After this, done with the positioning part for the starting point. Let's clear down the previous drawing. So let's clear down the previous canvas and bring new. So what I will do, pen dot clear. So this will clear down all the drawings which are already there on the stage. After this, pen down. That means open up the pen and make it ready to draw. All right. Let's start off with the starting movements. I want my pen to start off with a particular right angle or right position. So when you're drawing a star, your pen is at a particular angle, like this, right? So you are drawing a star in such an angle that it basically draws it up for you. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write sprite, sorry, dot right. Let's make it 70 or 72. It's up to you. It's up to you and it's up to the sprite that you're choosing. You have to play around these values. Whenever you play around these values, that is when you will figure out which is the right one for you. Then sprite dot move, sorry. Here we are going to move the sprite to 180. Let me quickly click on run button and show you how it looks like. There you go. So it's going down at a certain angle, right? So that is why we are doing and we are setting up the certain angle and then it's going down there. Again, if you want to decrease the moving points, you can do that as well. It's again up to you. Let's rerun and then let's click on, okay. We will rerun after we are done with the code. Now, we want to loop it around. So there are how many lines in a star? Let's count that. So there is one, okay. One, I'm not able to draw. I'm not able to draw. I'm so sorry. No worries. So can you tell me how many lines are there in a star? Please explain 72. Miss Nikita, 72 is the right value at which I want the angle to be, and then I want it to go in that particular direction. So I want it to be here at this particular angle or here at this particular side, and then I want it to move downwards. That is what I'm doing. 72 is the angle. Exactly. Yeah. 5 sides are there. Right. Okay. Now, so what we are going to do is now it's annotating. Okay. Let's count it again. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of your lines. So yeah, you all are right. Oh yeah, direction. Exactly. Depends on what type of star you want to draw. Exactly, Miss Gitika. It again depends on what type of star you want to draw, what type of sprite you are using, what its size, the sprite size also matters. And indeed, the canvas also matters. So where is your starting point and where is your ending point, that also matters a lot. Now let's create a for loop. Here we are going to use the for loop to loop in for the other values. So for I in range, now you have to tell me, will it be 5 or will it be 6? If I want to have 5 sides, will it be 5 or will it be 6? It's a tricky question. I'm telling you, it's a tricky question, but it's easy one. Tricky, but easy. Now you have to tell me, what will be the range value here? 5, 6, 56. No, Miss Nikita, not 56. A lot of people are saying 6. 0 to 5. Miss Ruchi. Okay. Miss Mantram is saying 5. Ursula is saying 5. What about others? What do others think? Shall we have it like Shall we have 5 or 6? 5. Okay. 5 is the right answer. The reason we already drew the first line, which is this one. The first line is already done. We have set up the stage. We want to draw the rest of the 4 lines. And when we are passing in, we are using for loop, it's going to execute that for loop how many times? 4 times. And if we want to execute that for loop 4 times, the value or the range value will be 5. I hope now if we can recall what we did in the starting, it will make sense over here. All right, now what do we want to do? A little pause just to make sure that our drawing that we are doing is good to go. So what I will do is I will add time.sleep for 1 second. Just a 1 second pause so that the computer doesn't make any mistake or it goes in flow. After that, I want to again set up my right angle. So what I will do is just duplicate these 2 lines, add it over here. Again, indentation makes a very good, indentation is must. So you don't have to forget that. Over here, I will set the angle as 144, or you can set it as 140 if this angle is 70. So you have to again look around these values and play with these values so that you can understand. After that, your pen dot down. Again, to keep the pen down and intact while drawing. All right, now let's quickly run the script and let's see if there is a need to debug. I think that's perfect. Now, one more thing. It's going down again. It's going down once more over here on this side. So if I make it 4, will it stop at the top point where it started from? Let's see. Yeah. So 4 is the right range value. So drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the 5 values are drawn. Now good to go. Now again, one more question. When the range was 5, it drew 1 extra line. But when the range was 4, it stopped at the top point or the starting point. Can anybody tell me what's the reason? What's the reason of the same? Index is 5. Okay. What do other things about this particular thing? How to consider angles. Angle is something that, as I mentioned, you have to play around those values. Yes, because it started from 0. Exactly. It started from 0. It's going from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's going like 0, 1, 2, 3. And how many lines are these? 4 lines. And how many lines we need after this one? 4 lines. So yeah, that's good to go. So just quickly save this project as drawing shapes and you can save it up. Again, I want you to draw star, but I also want you to draw other shapes as well, like square, hexagon, pentagon. I want you to draw those shapes and share the screenshot in the WhatsApp and Telegram groups. Let's quickly go to the next activity because that is, I have to say, one of the favorite ones in this session. All right, I'll share my screen once again. The next activity that we are going to work around is automated to-do list, something that we all really need and something that we all really love, but we are not able to keep up to it. So that is why I created this particular real world program for you all. And this is something that you can use to teach kids about lists and tuples and what's the difference between that. So let's quickly dive into this particular activity. We are a little time bounded, so I will be going in speed, but I will be explaining everything, so don't have to worry. Okay, let's go with automated to-do list and let's start it up. When pen down is again at the end, is it required? You can try out. I don't mind. Try it out and tell me if it is required or not. See, whenever we are coding, there are few set of things that when you code it again and again, that is when you feel like, oh, if I do it this way, then it's going to affect and make my code more efficient. So there are multiple ways, as I mentioned, and as I'll always talk about, there are multiple ways to, write your code. So how many teachers are here right now? There are around about 200 educators over here watching the live session. So there will be 200 ways to write one code. And I have to say, there will be, right? Okay, let's start with the automated to-do list. And first thing first, what do we want to do? We are going to create an empty list, not tuple list. Now tell me what's the reason behind that. Why we are creating a list? Why not tuple? Not required. It's true, it's not required. Why we are creating a list for adding in our to-do task, not a tuple. Why not a tuple? By the time you're answering it, I'm quickly going to create one. List is mutable. Exactly. That's the point. Lists are mutable. And whenever we are making a to-do list, we want it to be mutable so that I can edit, add, or remove any task that I'm done with. Okay. Now, after this, what we are going to do? We are going to create an infinite loop. Now, can you tell me how to create an infinite loop? Easy listing. Exactly. Add or delete tasks from list. Tuples are not changeable. True. Tuples are immutable. That is why we are using list. True. Because we can edit. Amazing. All right. Now tell me, what's the reason behind, or sorry, how exactly we can create an infinite loop? Forever loop. But how? Forever loop is there in block-based coding. While true. Exactly. Miss Ruchi is right. It's going to be while true. So while true. Now we need to create a menu. So what we are doing over here, we need to create a menu in which we are going to add four options. One is if you enter one, if your choice is one, you can add a task. If your choice is two, you can view task. If your choice is three, you can remove task. If your choice is four, you can exit from the loop. So I'll not write it down. I've just copy pasted it. Mhm. Okay, we go. Again, indentation plays a very important role. So you have to make sure that your indentation is right and correct. Now, what this will do, it will print this particular menu here on the terminal. Now let's start off with our choices. So if we need to add a choice variable and take the user input. So now what I will do after displaying the menu. So whenever you're going out in any restaurant or whenever you're ordering food online, there is a menu. You need to pick your choice or pick your item, add it to the cart, and then go out and check out and pay. Same way over here, we need to pick from the menu. What do we want to do? We need to pick our choice, and that choice will be stored in choice variable. So simple, easy. Choice equals to input from the user. And what type of input it will be? It will be int. So we can directly take the input of enter your choice 1 to 4. And there you go. Now, if choice is equals to 1. Is this correct? Now you have to tell me, is this correct? Or what's the correct way of writing this condition? Make the condition never false in while loop. Exactly. True. Input a choice from user and check the choice from user value. Very nice. Indeed, Miss Harpreet, that is what we're going to do. Again, I'm asking you it once again. No, it will be double equals to. Exactly, exactly. It will be double equals to. Now, what's the reason behind that? Because it's a value. We want to check if whether the user has chosen one as the option or not. We are not initializing our choice variable here. We want to check whether the user has put one as a choice or not. So if choice double equals to 1, what do I want to do? I want to add in the task. So basically, I will be creating a task variable in which I'm going to again ask the input from the user, and that input will be enter the task. Simple as that. Right. After this, what do I want to do? I want to add that task to my list. So how can I do that? So there is a function called append. Now, can anybody tell me what append means, or what does that append function means? I want the answers again in the chat box. It's an assignment operator. Exactly it is. List is mutable. Exactly. Now I want answers. What does that append do? Append function. Add. Okay, add. Miss Nikita says add. SH says add. Indeed. So it adds to the value. Append adds the value. So what we're going to do, to-do list equals to append task. Simple as that. So what is happening over here? We are adding in the task to our to-do list. Now, can anybody tell me, is this right way to write it? Or am I doing something wrong here? Add it to the list, add it to the list, use append function. Yeah, that is what I'm doing. Add one value in the list at the end. Exactly. As the value, right? But can you tell me, is this right way to append it or not? Is this the right way to append? List dot append. Exactly. Miss Ruchi is right and Miss Nikita is also right. Use dot, not equals to. Right. So whenever you're using a type of function of, let's say, for a list or for any type of other data type, you have to use dot. Okay, so that's something that you need to understand and keep a note on to. Now, so the task will be added in my list after appending it. Now let's check for the other condition. Elif choice doubles equals to 2. What do I want to do? I want to first, now there will be two options here. Two, not options, but two conditions here. If there is nothing in my to-do list, that means if there is no task in my to-do list, I want to print no task in the list. And if there is a task, then I want to display all the tasks together. Okay, but before that, what I will also do, I will print the added task here in a separate line. So what I will do, print task, sorry, which is task, and this, again, this is added to your to do, sorry, to-do list. That's good to go. Full stop. Okay. So the task is added to your to-do list. Okay, I'm missing on something, which is this part. Yeah. So a task is added to your to-do list. Let's add space over here as well, so it's not all clumsy. Now, what I will do over here, if there is nothing in my to-do list. So how to check if there is nothing in my to-do list? Can you remember the logical operators that we used? Which is the logical operator that I will be using? Will it be and or will it be not? I'm waiting for your answers. Will it be and or will it be not? Explain contact. I will surely do that. Not. Exactly. It will be not. So not in to-do list. Then what I have to do? I have to print you do not have any tasks. Or if I can print no tasks in the list. Please add some. Okay, good to go. And else, if there is task, I want to display all. So else, what do I want to do? I want to print to list, and then I want to print in all the values. So how can I do that? Again, I have to create a loop. So I have to create a for loop in which I'm going to add the index, the task in emulate. So I want to first of all tell you what exactly this particular function will be. So first of all, I'll add index task, which I've already taken input, sorry, in your to-do list, but I have to enumerate the to-do list and I have to start it equals to my equals to 1 over here. Now, can anybody tell me what this enumerate function does? What this function does. Now make sure that you are staying till end because I will be sharing the feedback and attendance form and you have to fill it up to secure your participation certificate. Why write F there? Just to print it in different line. That's it. There's no other reason. No other reason for the same. I just wanted to print it in different line. That is why I've added F. All right. I'm waiting in for your answers. Copy. To copy it, to list down the things. Exactly. What about others? What do others think? What this particular function do? Creates tuple of index or items for each element in the list. Exactly. So it's basically going through the list. It's going to make our loop pass through it and print each of these values that we have in our index. So then after creating this for loop or this counter loop, I want to print in the values. And how I have to do that? It's very simple. It's very easy using the print index and task. That means, so what it will look like? It will look like 1 equals to buy milk. Sorry, it will not be equals to, it will be dot with the space. And then it will be 2 if we have another one, feed dogs. So this is how it will be printed like. So now choice number 2 done. After this, choice number 3. So again, let's copy paste this entire part because it's going to be the same for choice number 3. Indentation. Again, indentation, you have to work for it. You have to take a look out for the indentation. So what does the third option says? It says removing a task. So here it will be choice 3. Again, it will check whether we have something in the list or not. If it is not, if there is no task in the list, it will say please add. If not, let's code that part. Now we want to take a user input of which task number that user wants to remove. So for this, I will add task no, which will be for number. So I want to take the task number, and this specifically will passed on as integer and will be taken as integer. Enter the number of tasks you want to remove. Simple. Okay. After this, what do I want to do? Once I've taken the input, I have to do something. So let's say if the input says 1, if the input says that delete task number 1, but if you remember, the index starts from 0. Where does it start from? It starts from 0. So for computer, let's say if I have, let me type it down for you. Let's say this is my task number 1, buy milk. Task number 2, feed dogs. Here for the computer, this is 0 and this is 1. So if I enter the number of the task you want to remove, if I enter 1, this will be removed, not the actual first task. So how to do and how to remove the actual task number that I've added over here? Again, answers in the chat box. I have to say I'm loving the way that you are commenting down in the chat box, because it's so amazing to see the enthusiasm and dedication from all of you. Why is there is an F in the print statement? Because I want to break down the line. That's the only reason, nothing else. Shouldn't we show the list for number to delete? You can do that as well. Indeed, as I mentioned, Miss Nikita, n number of ways to do n number of codes. It will be task number +1. -1. Exactly, Miss Anusha. Miss Anusha. It will be -1. Exactly, Mr. Dave. Exactly. It will be -1. Let's quickly put -1 over here. That's it. So now what will happen? If I enter, I want to delete task number 1, it will be minused from 1, which will be 0, and this task will be deleted. Simple as that. So that's how I just wanted to quickly explain it to you, and then it's good to go. Now let's move on to the next part. Exactly, -1. Task is indexed at task 1 is indexed at 0. True, it is indexed at 0. That is why we are doing it. After this, what I want to do, I want to check if 0 is less than equal to task number, and that is more than the length of the to-do task or the to-do list. Now I want again you to help me understand why we are doing it. I'm going to paste this particular condition over here. Now, if you remember, in this one program, we are using loops, lists, logical operators, arithmetic operators, the basic Python understanding. We are using the nested conditional statements. We are using our while infinite loop. So we are using everything that we have learned so far. Now you have to tell me what's the reason behind putting this particular statement or this particular condition over here. So if 0 is less than equal to the task number, or sorry, it will not be task number, it will be task NO over here, which is less than the length of the to-do list, then what do I have to do? So basically, it's checking in if I have a task, and if I've, let's say, removed the task already, it will check it if there is task number 2 or not. So let's say if I want to remove task number 2, but if there is only one task, so that is what is going to check out. It's going to check if there is one task left or two tasks left. So let me quickly again give you another example. This is number one, buy milk. Again, number two, feed dogs. This is indexed at 0. This is indexed at 1. Now, what I've done is I've entered number 1 that I want to delete first task. Now, this is deleted. So this is your 0 and this will be your 1 now. Now, after this, I say again and I want to delete task number 2. But there is no task number 2. No task number 2 because this task number 2 is now task number 1. So if I remove one item from the list, the other item will take its place. So let's say if I have two water bottles, if I remove one, if I throw out one, there will be just one left, right? So that is something that the computer also needs to understand. And then we have to tell the user that, hey, the number that you have entered, it's invalid. You do not have two tasks. You do not have second, third task or third task. You only have one task in your field or in your to-do list. So that is the only reason we are using this if condition. So now what we have to do, removed task, which will be our, which will be our variable over here. If the remove task, I'm going to initialize it, is equals to the to-do list dot pop. And which value to pop? The value of task number. Simple as that. So this is going to remove the task from the list. I hope I make sense over here and it's clear to you. Now it's the else part. So in the else part, you have to write invalid number. Only if the user entered a number of tasks which is not there, then it will print invalid number. I know it's a little lengthy program, not lengthy, but I will say it's just a little complex, only because we are implementing everything we have learned so far in one program. So, but once you understand the concepts, it will be very easy for you. After this will be our last choice, which will be indentation again, correct? Choice number 4. So choice equals to 4, then what do we want to do? If the choice equals to 4, I want to exit. So I just will be printing exit and break out from the loop. And then if you remember, I will have just one else part, which will say, if you want, you can have the else part. If not, then it's again up to you. Print invalid choice. If anybody enters 0 for this, we don't have any 0. If anybody enters 5, we don't have 5. So we will be passing on that there is an invalid choice. You have to pick a number between 1 to 4. Now, one quick question. Will this work? Or is there any error that I can see in the code over here? Any error? Any error which is purely visible to you all? I want to answer in the chat box. Come on, quickly. Makes sense, right? Thank you, Miss Mansi. Should 0 to less than amount of data. Okay, should not go to negative. Yes, it's important level up. Exactly. No, as choice is not taken as int, it will give type. Miss Ruchi, you are the rock star of today's session. I have to say that. Indeed, because choice over here, we are not taking choice as int. We are taking it as normal character. Though we are entering a number, but it will be passed on as a character because we have not specified its type to int, like the way we have specified the task number over here. So what do I have to do to correct it? Add double quotes to the choice. Exactly. That is what I have to do. Simple double quotes to all the choices. See, that is why I always say, whenever you work together, it's going to help you out. All right. Now, is it going to work? We have to check it out. Let's quickly click on run. I'll go in the full screen mode for the terminal. So this is the full screen mode for terminal, log, and serial monitor. You can just click on it. It will expand or go down. Now, enter your choice. Let's say if I want to add a task. Now I will enter the task. Buy milk is my favorite one, I suppose. So buy milk task is added to your list. It worked. Let's say choice 2, I want to view the task. So buy milk is my task and it is displayed with the number, which is the index number, right? Now let's say if I want to remove a task. Oh, invalid choice. Let's say if I want to remove a task. Now it will ask me, enter your choice. Oh, sorry, remove a task means 3. Enter the number of tasks you want to remove. Let's say if I enter 2. So it will say invalid number because there are no 2 tasks. I have only 1 task, remember? Then if I say remove the task again, number 3, then it will ask me, I will say, I want to remove the first task. The task is removed. Nothing is to be displayed. Now, if I say I want to view all the tasks, you can see there's no task in the list. Please add some. It's working perfectly fine. Hooray. So then all you need to do is save this project as automated to-do list. Now, there is one more thing that I wanted to address before wrapping up today's session, and that is whenever you are teaching in a classroom, there are various teaching methods that you can use while you're explaining this. My layman's language over here is just to set up the stage for where everybody feels comfortable. I can go as deep as you would like me to go in professional wordings or in the wordings of programming language or that programming keywords. But I'm refraining myself, I'm keeping myself at a pace where everybody understands me. And this is only possible because of your live engagement. So quick shout out to all of you as well. Because of you all, this is possible. Because of you all, I am here and I am enjoying taking up these sessions. All right. So I think that's all for today's session. Let me quickly share my PPT and we'll go to the questions if you have any. And also I will share the feedback and attendance link form. So I'm open to your questions and more than happy to answer it for you all. And I am sharing the link in the chat box. So the attendance link is there in the chat box. Kindly make sure you mark your attendance because that will give you guys a chance to secure your participation certificate. Thanks, Vivek. It was very informative session. Thank you so much, sir. All right, and make sure that once you are done filling your feedback form, do drop a like in the chat box and make sure that you like this session as well, because I am telling you the number of likes keeps me motivated. So please make sure that you like this live session and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Learned a lot, enjoyed making lots of mistakes. I am telling you, I love making mistakes as well, Miss Nikita. It really helps me to understand and learn more, grow more. Informative session. Thank you so much. All right, guys, thank you so much. We will see you guys tomorrow at the same place, same time. Make sure to fill in your attendance, mark your attendance. We will be more than happy to connect on WhatsApp and Telegram groups. So if you have any queries regarding LMS, regarding PictoBlox, regarding your code or anything else, hop in there and I will be more than happy to help. Again, we also have added the DIY PDF, which is the guidelines for YouTube that you have to keep in mind while making your YouTube videos. So make sure to check out that as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.